I can't hear you. Is your mic muted? Oh, you know what? Maybe it's me. I got you now. It was me.
Oh, okay. I never used this before.
You know what? We've been using it since this quarantine stuff. We've been using it for church. So, so I'm not used to it either. And it looks like it's recording because I was like, I don't even really know how to do this. And my husband went out. He's the one that uses Zoom all the time.
Oh, okay. Like I never used it before, so I didn't know.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. And you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you were able to do it. In the past, the way I've done this is I just have people record a video, but I think this is a better way to do it.
Okay. Yeah. I guess.
So did you get the questions that I sent you?
Yes, I did. Okay. I did.
Okay, I don't even remember them, so I'm trying to pull them up on my other sheets here so I can.
I have them on my other phone.
Okay, that's good. That's very good. Oh, because my thing here is not gonna let me log in. Okay, anyway. All right. So your when you introduce yourself on your videos, you call yourself something different than the name that I see on my
the Facebook. Yeah. So my YouTube, I go off of my my middle name. And then my Facebook, that's just my, my first name. So, yeah.
Okay. So your first name is Tiffany, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
You spell it nice and uniquely too. So, well, I am so glad that you are doing this. I started the series just because I want to help other people, and my channel is not that big, but it was even smaller when I started doing this. It was half the size that it is now when I started doing this, because I'm so excited that there are so many crocheters on YouTube now.
Yeah.
When I first started, there were none. I was watching a bunch of knitting, and I knit too. I do it, and but there were no crocheters back in the day. It was all knitting podcasts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but crocheters have blown up lately. So.
Oh, yes, we have. We definitely have. I'm excited about the opportunity. Not a lot of people, I guess have their platform so that other people can be like, hey, I'm here, so I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, I definitely I'm still hoping that my computer's gonna come on. But yeah, that's what I want to do. I just feel like, I'm not, it's not the way that I make money. I've never been, about, let me just say this. I think there's room for everybody. There's room for everybody.
I feel the same.
So sharing your platform with somebody, is not going to take anything from you. And people shared theirs with me because honestly, when did I, like the beginning of this year or like almost the end of last year, I only had maybe the summer of last year, I had like 300, I had less than 400 followers, but because of certain people shouting me out, I was able to finally climb up. So that's why I'm like, let me pay it forward as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, why don't we start with you telling us, or you can tell me about your channel. What's your channel name and how did you pick the channel name?
Okay, so my channel name is It's Ezra. The name, like I said, is my middle name. Well, part of my middle name. So I just go by Ezra, and pretty much I'm talking about my crafts that I do, my crocheting and my knitting. Then I do have just some random, talks that if I feel like it. But I think the primary reason for it is to be able to show off my you know, crocheted items and knitting items, and just talk about my journey when it comes to yarn or anything that's craft related. So
yeah, so which one did you start doing first, knitting or crocheting?
Actually I started knitting first.
Mm.
So yeah, I learned how to knit first, and then like right at the beginning I wanted to jump straight into socks. Like that was the whole reason why
Oh
I
my
wanted
gosh.
to knit, is because I wanted to make socks. But I guess I got a little discouraged because the yarn was so thin, and I really wasn't getting it because I was using like DPNs, and I was brand new at it. And then I found crocheting, and then I started doing that more often and knitting less. So I do more crochet than I do knitting, but I do like to, you know, switch it up between the two.
Yeah, yeah. I am exactly the same. I learned knitting many moons ago, and then I wanted to crochet, and it took me forever to teach myself. I've been doing it for a while, and I started way before YouTube was a thing. And so I really, you know, before I tell you how I taught myself, how I learned, how did you actually learn to knit and crochet?
Well, when I was a kid, my aunt had a lonely set of knitting needles and some yarn. So I used to dibble and dabble with it as a child. But as I got older, it was YouTube. I was at work one day and I was like, I want to knit something. And I got on YouTube and retaught myself. And like I said, tried to jump straight into socks.
That's hilarious, man. That's what you started with.
Because I really wanted socks. And I still have not knit a pair of socks to this day, but
yeah,
that's so YouTube is how I retaught myself both. Yeah,
to knit and crochet. So yeah, I started way before YouTube. So I taught myself to crochet, knit from a book. And I remember, I'll date myself by saying that I went to Woolworths. Okay, that I don't even know if you know what that is. Do you know what that is? She's so young. She doesn't know. Okay, so it was a drugstore basically from back in the day, but they had everything in Woolworths. They had, not only was it pharmacy type of stuff and toiletry type of stuff, but they had you could buy animals like fish, birds.
Oh, wow.
They had a full lunch counter, and then they had fabric. They had, you know, you could buy lingerie, like it was real cheap. Everything was cheap. But they had a whole section of Red Heart Super Saver yarn. And so, and they had the little teach yourself booklets. And so that's what I did. I went on over and I taught myself that way. And then I found out years later that I was doing it backwards, because I joined the guild, and instead of putting my needle for, like, for instance, with the knit stitch, I used to just put my needle in the back of the loop. That's how I taught myself to do it in the back. Look, yeah. And then I joined this knitting guild when I was, you know, many years ago. I was in my 30s still, and the ladies there, and I actually was well over 35, but I was one of the very youngest people in that guild. And so the ladies there, they got me straight on that. And then crochet, I taught myself from a book as well. And it was one of those things where I started doing it at a time when I was going through a whole lot, and it was almost like my brain just needed that. So I wanted to ask you, like, what does crochet and knitting, what does your crafting do for you?
It is, I kind of use it as a source, kind of like a therapeutic type, just to, you know, be able to relax and take my mind off all the extra stuff that's going on. So yeah, more of a therapeutic thing. It makes me feel.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to get my husband to put my computer is not picking up the Wi-Fi, so I'm just trying to pass it to him. But anyway, and my glasses are fogging up because I am a woman of a certain age, and that's what happens. But yeah, I always say that crafting is my therapy as well. So
Yeah.
what are some of your favorite things to make?
I probably would have to say hats and scarves.
Mm-hmm.
I've made a plethora of
Uh-huh.
both. So hats and scarves. Right now, I'm just now sort of kind of getting into like the shawls.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So, and a little bit with blankets, but you know, blankets are just so time consuming.
They take
Like it's
forever.
a lot of time and a lot of yarn.
Yeah.
But so right now it's kind of like the shawls and then hats and scarves is, and I would like to say socks if I would ever
Yeah, you can do
if
it.
I could dive in there and do that. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you should. If you do the when you get to the socks, the first time I did it, and again I'm going to date myself, but you know Vicky Howell? You heard of Vicky Howell, right?
Yes.
Okay. So long ago, the channel TLC it was called the Learning Channel, and they had everything on there was about learning, and she had a show called Nitty Gritty, and they did a pair of socks, but they did it in worsted weight yarn. So I sat there and watched them do it,
Yeah.
and I knitted. I think I only knitted one, and I put it on my husband's foot. I remember that, and it was so. But that just gave you the basics on the how to, and it really does.
Yeah.
It's not as hard as with that little bitty tiny yarn. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe I just need to do it with worsted weight and then I'll switch over to the thinner yarn. So
yeah, yeah,
hopefully. I
yeah.
hope this year, that's my goal. My
Oh,
yearly goal.
yeah, you can do it. I mean, I don't knit a lot of them, because I just would rather crochet. Knitting is like, I started, it takes too long. I'm
Yeah,
impatient,
it
and
is. Yes, it
it's,
is.
so I'd rather just crochet. So, let me see what else. Did I already ask you how long you've been crocheting and knitting?
Um, well, no.
Okay.
Maybe I was trying to think. I think I would probably say about 10 years.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, maybe about 10, 8 to 10 years.
8 to
Something
10.
in that, yeah.
Okay.
Something in that time frame.
Okay, yeah, I think I started crocheting would be probably 11 or 12 years ago.
Mm.
And then knitting was more than 20 years ago, but not like consistent. Otherwise, I would probably have knit a sweater by now if I would just have done it. But
Yeah.
that's one thing I haven't done. So that's another question. What is, other than socks, because you said socks, but is there like a holy grail or one thing that you really want to knit that you haven't tackled yet?
Um, Besides socks, probably like a cardigan. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably a cardigan.
Yeah, I do too. I think if I can I keep starting and then I just give up, so
Yeah,
I
it's time consuming. It is.
hmm hmm All right. And so I think the last question that I have, that's, we can still talk, but the last question I have on here is, what inspires you?
Seeing other people's projects, what they make, and then I guess, when I go to a craft store and I see like the colors, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so other people's work and just the colors of, whatever the yarn is just makes me want to make something with it.
Okay.
Not that I always get around to it in a timely manner, but
Yeah, that's how it goes. Well,
yeah, other people's yeah.
yeah. But you have a little one, right? At least
I
one little one.
do.
Okay.
Yes, I have a 2-year-old. 2 year.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. It's a wonder you find time to do anything.
It's a struggle, but we
Yeah.
we doing it. Yeah.
They keep you busy, don't they?
Oh yes.
My I have
For
a
sure.
mine's is 11, almost 11. And yeah, he's at a point now where, you know, he's fairly independent. I still have to do some things clearly, but he's fairly independent. But I remember being dog tired and not even being able to see straight when he was too still. I couldn't see straight. So and I was older when he was born. So it was I already had plummeting energy, and then I ended up, you know, becoming a mom late in life. So did you bring any of your things to share with us? Some of the things that you
I have a, well, it's supposed to be a shawl. The granny stitch is a granny stitch shawl that I just started working on. It's not much, but
oh, it's pretty. Look at your stitches. Wow.
So I'm with the Lion Brand cupcake yarn. Right, so this is my own going, and then I'm working on, let me see if I can grab it. Okay. This one, I guess I should have unraveled her. And then I just started this one yesterday.
Oh, I love the colors. So pretty.
This is the mesh stitch. This is Lion Brand, not Lion Brand, Super Saver stripes yarn. So I'm working on these too. I just been going back and forth with them the last 2 days. So
do you sell any of your work, or do you give it all away, or do you donate to charity?
A couple of years ago, when I was in another state a couple of years ago, I used to there. But no, I usually just gift it to friends or keep it for myself, things like that. I should donate. I am actually looking for a charity around my area to try to donate, you know, to them or to like a hospital, you know, something like that. So I am looking into that. But if someone requests, I do. I will send stuff. I get that occasionally, but not too often. So,
I tell people I don't crochet for money because people don't, you know, by the time you tell them how much it's going to cost, they can't, you know, they can't conceive of how much time it took you to do it. And so I'm like, I'm just giving it away, you know, I will donate, or I just keep it. I don't know. I'm doing the same thing. I got so many things stockpiled. I can usually do a handmade holiday and give away all my stuff for Christmas, because I live in Southern California. I can't wear half the stuff. Like even now, I got on this Divine hat that I made just because I was done with hair and makeup so for the day. And so I was just like, I put the hat on, but it's hot. Like, and it's a very nice day outside, even though we can't go out there. We did take a short walk, but I can't even wear most of the stuff that I make. So I just, you know, send it on. My family's in the Midwest. So anyway,
I mean, here it gets cold here, so I'm able to wear it here. And then I was in Colorado. I lived there for about 3 years. So it was cold there, so you know, I was bundling up.
Yes.
So I've been privileged to be able to wear a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, if I don't, then I just save it and, you know,
throw it away. Well, I know that did you make anything for your baby while you were pregnant, waiting for her to be born?
You know what, to be honest, I did not. I did not. And I was thinking about that because I started a blanket for her. And I was like, since she was born, I really have not made her anything. Like I said in my videos, I was in Japan for 3 years. So I just didn't do much there. And no. So I'm trying to make up for that now. Because I didn't then, but no.
I know you have shared that you're in the military, right? So how is that for your stash? Like, do you like just keep it low because you might have to move, you know, kind of thing?
I'm actually, it's the opposite. It is so bad. So because I have to move so much, and I have a lot, because I don't just knit and crochet, I do like paper crafts and, you know, things like that. Yeah. So when I move, and I get to a new location, I don't unpack all of that stuff. I kind of just start over.
Yes, buy more.
I kind of just start over because it's like, it's so much to unpack, and then you're only there for like 2 years or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to pack up again. So it's kind of like I just done accumulated.
Yeah.
I'm almost like a hoarder, I guess, when it comes to that. But I pretty much just start over, which is kind of bad when you think about it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we are all, I think, I don't know. There's very few people when you watch their podcast that they say that there's very few that only buy for a project that they make. Almost all of us are just collectors, you know.
Yeah.
We like to have all the yarn, all the stuff. And I'm like you. I mean, I'm the Crafty Nomad, so I do it all. And so I have the supplies for everything. So when I do a giveaway on the channel, I don't have to go to the store and get it. I just go and pull something of what, you know, I already own. So, yeah. I don't know. I wanted to say, too, just, I know you had shared about your mom, and I wanted to say I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry for your loss. And bless your heart for just, you know, everything that you've gone through, and just continue to keep that smile on your face. I really appreciate that. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Why don't you tell us, before we sign off, say your name, the name of your channel. I will link it down below so people can find it. But yeah, let's just sign off with that.
Okay, so my name is my name is Tiffany, but my middle name is Ezra Lynn. I go by Ezra though. So my channel name is It's Ezra, which is me. And I knit, crochet, and do other crafts. So if y'all check me out, check me out.
Please check her out, guys. Her channel will be linked down below. Thank you so much, Ezra, for joining us. I love your name, actually. I love it. It's so unique, from the Bible, right? And I love that. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
As soon as I figure this all out, it'll be up on my channel, and I'll talk to you next time.
All right. Thank you.
All righty. Bye.
Bye.